Welcome to Crunch Time, where we teach you little parts of history every day. And today you get to take a sneak peek into the world of tolerantism in the 1930s. Now, usually we begin our show by introducing a joke just to get things off on a good start. But I've done some research, and turns out tolerantism jokes aren't actually funny unless the government says they are. So a question I'm sure you all have is, what in the world is tolerantism? Well, basically, it's a government whose ruler, or the ruling party group, has total control over everything and everyone. If you thought a teacher in a classroom was bad, this ideology in the 1930s was much worse. The tolerantism leader doesn't just become a leader as easy as it may sound. There are steps that they have to follow. For example, they use nepotism, where you favor people and give them what they want so that they will elect you. Another tactic is one that Joseph Stalin used. Show your power by making curbside arrests. Example A. One other thing that a dictator did to gain power was to provide public goods effectively and generously. Lee Kuan Yew practiced this, and he set up a dating service for single graduates. And this made the economy much more secure. People loved this, and they didn't mind their totalitarian leader because they valued their economic wealth much more. And as a result, Lee ruled for 31 straight years. Now we move on to the positive sides of tolerantism. So first, we have the fact that people feel more secure knowing that there is one person in control, which is totally understandable. The pressure of elections really does get to a person. Another positive, surprisingly relatable to today's world, is that tolerantism countries are really good at fighting epidemics. For example, the USSR eradicated smallpox simply because when the government says to do something, they do it. Now, even though that it may seem like there are a lot of plus sides to this, there are some major downsides. One major is that people tend to pursue their own dreams and what makes them happy and go against the government. This can lead to riots and uprisings, and police have to take action. The police will go in and they can attack people. This tolerantism government stops people from having their own creativity. For example, some people cannot go out past 7:30. And imagine wanting to go outside on your four-wheeler and not being able to. However, these types of governments are pretty much always proven to fail, simply because they are never able to change themselves as the economy and situation changes. This whole ideology on tolerantism can have major impacts, and it definitely did on the people in the 1930s. However, it can also connect them. As we know from previous videos, the aftermath of the war led to many new things in Canada. For example, the radio, women working, prohibition, and cars. And at the end of the 1920s, people were lost. Depression had fallen. People were desperate for jobs. And since people wanted change, they voted for people who said that they could give it to them.
And I will create change!
Tolerantism started in Italy in the 1920s, and after that, other countries followed suit, because people felt safe knowing one man was in charge, like I said. But despite this, people now felt like they could trust their government, which connected them, as well as there was no fights on who was the better leader. Because there was only one leader. And I know this may sound bad, but another way it connected them was through fear. People were scared of their leaders, and all they wanted to do was connect with their family and not have to deal with the outside world, which in turn brought them closer together. Tolerantism is a very difficult subject to discuss, and I know it is hard to talk about. But the more we talk about it, the more we can learn about Canadian history and all the other countries' history. Thanks for tuning into Crunch Time, and I hope to see you again soon with our next topic.